Welcome, and this is In the Know, where we talk about what is going on in the community as well as what is happening in the world around us. So right now, I think I saw something earlier where we had 11 mass shootings just over the weekend. Let's talk a little bit about that. 11 just over the weekend, and these are mass shootings. What are considered mass shootings?
I got a question out the gate.
Right.
And the question is, are guns the issue, or is it the people?
It's the people
that are actually doing the shooting. That's the issue.
The people.
It's the people, because the guns don't do. The gun can't do nothing without it being in somebody's hand.
So the biggest conversation that we're hearing is the fact that we need more gun rules, gun laws, or
gun control.
Mm-hmm.
So do we need more laws to control the people that are utilizing the gun?
Well, I think now I'm a pro arm yourself. I believe in that you should have the right to arming yourself for your own personal protection.
I think all of us are armed right now.
Yeah.
I got my gun. You carry your gun all the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got two of them.
Two of them? E-Fight?
They're around. They're close.
I think everybody in the room. Cameraman, you got a gun?
Yeah.
For sure.
Right.
People in the back room?
Yeah.
Loud and clear. Everybody in the building got a gun.
So I'm an advocate of you protecting yourself, but I do believe that there should be some kind of, and you can't regulate it, and that's the problem. Because what is Indiana in less than 30 days? They're saying anybody over 18 that's a legal citizen that has no felonies, they're going to be able to carry a gun lawfully without a permit.
That's not true.
I think that's not true. It's not true.
No.
What you got, E?
You still have to have a permit, but they cannot search you or say I'm walking down the street with my gun wide open. They can't say nothing about it unless I committed a crime.
No, you're not. It's a permitless.
You have to have a permit to carry concealed.
Yeah.
But if you're carrying and it's not concealed,
open.
Yeah, it's open. Indiana is an open carry
you don't have
state.
to have a permit to carry open anymore.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
That's what you're saying.
Yes, yes. And I think Philadelphia, I think somewhere either in the ordinance of Philadelphia or in the state of Pennsylvania, they have that problem because they're coming up with that as well. And that's where one of the mass shootings were, where there was like 11 people were killed, 11 people were shot and 6 maybe have been killed. So they're talking about, we need more gun control, but I don't think it's gun control. I think you need more if you have a gun. And I do think you should have a permit, but you got to go through a training process. You got to do so many hours before you can drive a car. You got to do so many hours. You got to hold the permit for so long before you can drive a car, but you can go buy a gun today and go use it tomorrow.
But here's the thing. So most of these kids, I'm just going to bring up the school shootings because that's what's all over the news right now. Most of these kids got the weapon from their parents. So let's just take Kyle Rittenhouse. His mother drove him the weapon. So even if we regulate who can get these guns, we still can't regulate who can get their hands on them, just like when we regulate certain drugs. Things are, cocaine is illegal. You could be arrested if you're caught with cocaine. How many people are doing cocaine? I mean, you can regulate anything. But until you regulate the people, it's people control. I don't think it's gun control.
Well, the biggest thing is it's easier to get a gun than it is to get a book right now. Period. I could probably walk down the street and go get a gun versus walking down the street and get a book.
Illegal guns.
I mean, it's a gun.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's that easy to get a gun.
Right.
You can get one anywhere. And then on top of that, the gun shows that they have at the Coliseum, there's no regulation over
There's
there.
no background check.
There's no background check. There's nothing. A person can literally walk in there and buy a gun with nothing being checked behind them. So, I mean, it's ways we need to really change and regulate how to get a gun.
Man, we use the word regulate so freely. How can you regulate that? It's like saying we're going to regulate drugs.
Yeah. I don't think you can regulate it.
You can't regulate it. I mean,
you can stop it. Like I said, going to the gun show. You got to make these people have proper background checks and proper things right there on the spot, because simple fact, like I said, I could walk in, or anybody could walk in, and put it like this: my son's 16 years old. He looked like he's 18. So he could walk in there and buy a gun.
So you're saying that if they regulate or come up with whatever kind of rules or laws they want to, that there's never going to be another mass shooting.
No, I'm not saying that. Right. No, I'm not saying that.
That is going to slow down the killings in Chicago, Gary, and all of those.
No, I mean, it's a way of stopping of slowing things down.
So what I think,
I can get a legal gun. You
I
get a
think
legal gun.
Once again, man, a lot of times being wasted. Once again, the main media stream, these conversations that they throw at us, like bombard us with, oh, we need to regulate the guns. We need to regulate the rules. We need to change the laws. Man, until people
Tell people.
get a grip on life, man, and stop. Evil is always going to be
Right.
here.
Correct.
That's just bottom line.
Right.
So the school should have been locked up. The
There's a-
guy shouldn't have been able to get into school with the gun.
Right.
Those are things that we can address.
Right.
And I remember after
Right.
Columbine, they said that those things, it was Columbine, it was Pearl, Mississippi, it was a lot of other school shootings that they said that they were going to do that. But, you know, you can freely at some point get into the school. I mean, I know Fort Wayne Community Schools, you have to buzz.
You have to
in.
buzz your in
But-
and looking
but-
right at you.
But if you're a student, you know, the gun's already in the building. So
Yeah,
how do you
yeah.
how do you prevent that gun from coming in the building unless you have metal detectors or things such as that? But because how many guns in the last year have been found on a student in a Fort Wayne Community School setting? As low as I think a sixth grader somewhere within the last year or so had a gun at one of the Fort Wayne Community Schools. So as Jill said, where they're getting these probably from their parents, or yeah, they could buy them illegally, but it's the person that has the gun. And I agree with you on that, James. If they don't have the intellect, mental capacity, or the emotional stability to be able to operate or handle that gun, then it's not going to matter how many
But
regulations
then
we
where
put on
does
there.
that end? Where does
Well,
that
I mean,
end?
it wouldn't matter because, like I said, like you said, it's the person. It is the person. How can you tell if a person mentally stable enough to handle that gun,
Right.
regardless of anything?
And at the end of the day, can a psychiatric diagnosis prevent gun crime? So, I mean, there are so many things that we can look at. And then it also ties people who are mentally ill to school shootings. It prevents, it puts the stigma together with the kid who is a loner at school. And so now he's taken on the persona. So, I mean, we could talk about this.
Well, in I won't say it's all of them. And as he said, I'm gonna put it like that. But when it's a young white kid, that's in the psychiatric. There was a shooting in Boulder or Denver, Colorado area. It was a young black man. He shot the two people in which he went to shoot. He went to his lawyer office, turned himself in, but they called him a thug. They gave him all kind of titles. But when
Correct.
you look at these young white kids when they're doing that, we have to figure out where America. We have these conversations only because these are white kids. Let's be honest. If they were all black kids, we wouldn't be having these conversations. It would be like, yeah, just lock them up. You know, do this or do that. But because of where America is scaled, is that we have to figure out a problem. Now, and I'm not saying it's not true that some of them don't have psychiatric problems or some of them don't have the emotional stability to
Absolutely.
fight that. But why do we have to find excuses or make excuses for a different demographic? And the parents, I think that is a lot of, I mean, there's so many parents now that don't know what their kids are doing, don't know what their kids have, don't know what their kids have in their room. In my mama's house, there was no closed doors if you didn't want to close a door. You can close the door and tell your mama stay out of your room. Your room? I mean, but there's children now that parents just give them so much freedom. They don't know what their child is going through. They don't have relationships with them. So I think a lot of it also has to do with the family breakdown and things like that. You know, it's just a moral issue. It's not a political issue. It's a moral issue.
Yeah, the moral of the story, man, is like it's the people. It's not the guns.
Right.
The regulation of the guns is needed, but then the regulation of the bodies, the people, is definitely needed. But then I think the only thing that we really can control is the space that we dwell in as individuals. So no matter what anybody says or what the government does, illegal activity is going to continually be amongst us.
Right. And we need to prevent things we can control, like the locked door at the school, the things like that. I mean, when they
That's
started
about it.
investigating the shooting, there were so many loopholes that it's like you said. I mean, how long are you going to make security super tight? Just for a little bit or until the next school shooting happens, and then you're going to tighten it up again? I mean, this is something we've been dealing with for a long time, and unfortunately, it's not something that looks like it's going to be going away. So we need to work on the things that we are able to control.
Yep. And so we don't stay here too long, man. One thing before we leave here and go to the next point, because we're going to share a video with our audience that's extremely touching from somebody in a professional space on one of the world's largest stages.
Right.
Is so emotionally attached to the shooting that happened, the massacre of the young kids. But I was talking to a police officer, man, that came into the shop this week. No, it was last week. And we were talking about the new gun laws that are coming in. And it was amazing to me that the officer said that he does not understand it himself. Like literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said he's in limbo and from A to Z, he does not get the process nor why the process is being put in place.
Yeah.
Because it makes their job that much harder.
Yeah.
Intentionally. We got a video we're going to share with our audience right now. We want to go ahead and cue that up.
Since we left shoot around, 14 children were killed 400 miles from here, and a teacher. And in the last 10 days, we've had elderly black people killed in a supermarket in Buffalo. We've had Asian churchgoers killed in Southern California, and now we have children murdered at school. When are we going to do something? I'm tired. I'm so tired of getting up here and offering condolences to the devastated families that are out there. I'm so tired of I'm sorry. I'm tired of the moments of silence. Enough. There's 50 senators right now who refuse to vote on H.R. 8, which is a background check rule that the House passed a couple of years ago. It's been sitting there for 2 years. And there's a reason they won't vote on it, to hold on to power. So I ask you, Mitch McConnell, I ask all of you senators who refuse to do anything about the violence and school shootings and supermarket shootings, I ask you, are you going to put your own desire for power ahead of the lives of our children and our elderly and our churchgoers? Because that's what it looks like. It's what we do every week. So I'm fed up. I've had enough. We're going to play the game tonight, but I want every person here, every person listening to this, to think about your own child or grandchild or mother or father or sister, brother. How would you feel if this happened to you today? We can't get numb to this. We can't sit here and just read about it and go, well, let's have a moment of silence. Yeah, go Dubs, you know. Come on, Mavs, let's go. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go play a basketball game. And 50 senators in Washington are going to hold us hostage. Do you realize that 90% of Americans, regardless of political party, want background check, universal background check? 90% of us, we are being held hostage by 50 senators in Washington who refuse to even put it to a vote, despite what we, the American people, want. They won't vote on it because they want to hold on to their own power. It's pathetic. I've had enough.
So the most important thing that I took away from that was the very last part. The American people being held captive by its own government.
Right.
So the reality, not just about the guns,
Right.
but about life in its entirety.
Right.
The gas
Right.
prices that we have right now, the food prices,
Yes.
and to look at the rich get richer right now.
Right.
So across the board, when you say 90% of the people in America would love to have that law passed about the guns, it's been sitting on the desk for 2 years. We've been through 3-4 recessions. They don't even talk about it right now, but we're in the midst of one.
In the midst of one.
If they want to talk about it or not, it's reality. It's amazing to watch the petroleum companies have record high profit margins
profit.
right now. When people around the world are starving,
Yeah.
people are struggling to put gas in their vehicles to get to work, our government should be ashamed of itself, exactly like that man said, but not just on the guns, on everything across the board.
Yeah. And with that bill, why is it taking 2 years for that bill to get signed, or any bill to get signed? You know, it took 41 years, and I think just last year they signed the anti-lynching bill. That had been sitting on death after death after death after death. So the American, what he said, it's the power. We are just pawns in a bigger game. And it's a power. And it's not left or right. It's not Democrat or Republican. It's who has the cards right now. And it's sad that we are sacrificed for some other person's or corporate agenda that, you know. So if 90% wanted it to pass, why is it only 50 senators that can control it not being passed?
Right.
That's probably been in there for 300 years.
Yeah.
So just imagine how established and rooted they are into everything that's corporate around the world.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
and
insane.
Given
I think it's important too to see, if you control the food, you control the people. So if you control the fuel, like right now, you control the people. If you control the money, you control the people. So all of this is about power. The gas is a perfect example right now. And something that I noticed is right now people aren't looking at the big picture, so they're just sloughing it off as this is inflation, so this is normal. So while that's happening, these people over here, these other corporations, are raising their prices without you noticing because you've accepted this as the norm. So they're raking in the profits, and right now 64% of all people are living paycheck to paycheck while these corporations continue to flourish. So if that's not power and greed fueling the inflation that's going on right now, I don't know what it is.
Well, I work with a lot of truckers, and I see them every day. They almost to the point where they're not going to hit the highway because they can't afford it.
And imagine what would happen if they would
So
vote.
yeah, if you like you said, if you think about it, if truck drivers stop moving, the United States shuts down.
That's true.
That's true.
True.
That's true. And with that, as Jill was saying, everything's going up, but the price or the wages of the middle class or the average citizen.
Well, everything's so intentional, man. If you were to look at, they did the wage increase. Let's just go back, man. We have Corona, right?
Right.
The virus breaks out.
Right.
The world shuts down.
Shuts down.
Then you got all products and goods are out at bay and
In the
Yeah,
ocean.
in the ocean.
Just
Still sitting there.
right?
Still sitting there.
Okay, then things began to move a little bit, and now the truckers go on strike. It's like a domino effect. Okay,
Right.
and then Russia wants to invade Ukraine,
Right.
and then immediately the price of gas goes up.
Yeah.
So like they were behind. So we know they were months ahead. So they really didn't have to inflate prices that quick.
Right.
Even if they did, right?
Right.
So intentionalism, man, to get things exactly where they want them to be. 911. When 911 happened, what happened immediately after 911?
Gas prices went up.
Beyond
same
gas
day.
prices. Traveling in and out of the United States.
Yes.
Yes.
There was nowhere in the world, man, they could have implemented the security breaches or the security path to get through the airport, to get on the plane, to board, to fly out
Right.
in its normalcy. There had to be a catastrophe in order to do what?
Right. To control it.
Do something drastically when it comes to changing
Right.
how people move.
Yeah.
Everything's intentional, man, to get you to move in a certain direction. There's something coming behind everything that we're dealing with. Why is it that when gun laws are on the table to be talked about, we have massacre shootings going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Major numbers,
Major
an uprise in killings.
Yes.
It's all you see.
Is it that intentional?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it that much of an accident? Is
Yeah.
it incidental?
It's funny that you mention that. And I am a movie person. And have any of you ever seen A Long Kiss Goodnight?
Mm-hmm.
It's with Samuel L. Jackson. And what you just said, they're planning to detonate a nuclear bomb in the city. And what they said is, we can't fake 5,000 deaths. I mean, that is so profound. And that was before 9/11. And they was talking about how the government set it up. So, I mean, I believe it's highly probable, not possible, but highly probable that things like that happen, because it's just crazy. Like you say, once something hits the news. But I'm with you on what's next. But what are we not supposed to be looking at? That everything's going
Because
on.
that's the hidden, the smoking mirror.
And that's the question of the night. We can't stay here all night. We got to keep moving. We on time restraints. Let's go to some other news. Gilio, what you got for us?
So we're going to go ahead and get to some community announcements, and we're also going to do a gas card giveaway like we've done before. So in regards to the giveaway, if you have commented on any of our posts or shared any of our posts, interacted with us and engaged, we have put your name in here. So we're going to go ahead and shake this bad boy up, draw a name. I believe we're also going to be doing this on Thursday as well.
How much is the gift card?
The gift card is $50.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm going to let you draw a name.
Uh-oh. Heather Fitzgerald. You are the winner of our $50 gift card, Heather Fitzgerald. So please give us a a message on Facebook and let us know how we can get the gift card to you. Heather Fitzgerald. Wonderful.
Yep. Congratulations, Heather. Congratulations, Heather.
So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going on this weekend. So I know that we have the, what's it called, the Res Fest that's happening.
It's actually the
Hoops and Fish Fry.
It's the fishing derby.
Yes, the Fishing Derby community event, and that's happening the 11th and 12th, which is this weekend, correct?
Yes.
Correct, Saturday and Sunday. Also, along with that, there is going to be a Fish Fry, which is specifically on the 12th, a 5-on-5 basketball tournament. Those are always super interesting. And that's going to be on the 11th, I believe. We also have, let me put my glasses on so I can read this. If you want to sponsor, donate, or if you want more info, you can go ahead and text 260-739.
Help her out. You see that?
That's,
So,
hold on, I've got it
It's a
written
little
down.
blurry.
It
It's
is
a little
very
blurry.
small.
Pull it up.
260-739-8586. I've always got backup just in case.
85
Amen. Good stuff.
So yes, again, this weekend, and this represents something. This isn't the first fishing derby that they've done, correct? We
No.
talked about this with Mr.
Well, they
Smiley.
haven't had it the last.
They haven't had the
right.
last 2 years.
Right, because of COVID. So Mr.
Yeah.
Smiley was on board here with us, and he was talking about this. So this is going to be a really big deal. Bring the kids out. Come on out, play some basketball this
Definitely
weekend.
family friendly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a real good time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going fishing Saturday.
You going fishing?
Now I've never been fishing in my life.
I've never been fishing. I'm glad I'm
Oh
not
my
with you.
goodness.
Tell y'all like
Can you
this.
say that again? I thought people think that I'm odd when I tell you I've never been fishing a day in my life.
No,
The
I've been.
most peaceful
Yeah.
thing in the world.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just like swimming. Can you swim?
Yes, I can swim.
Can you swim?
Used to be a lifeguard.
Really?
Yes.
Why didn't you ask me?
Well, because you.
Why didn't you ask me? Do I
grew
just
up on the
look-
lake.
do I just look like I can swim?
You grew up on the lake.
So, anyways, do we have anything else going on this
Yeah.
weekend?
Actually, also on the 12th, the local chapter of the AKA Alpha Kappa Alpha will be sponsoring a Fort Wayne Family Day. They will have moonwalk, kickball, basketball, hula hoops, volleyball, double dutch. Man,
Sounds like my kind of place.
they my kind of
They going
place.
old school, ain't they? Double
Yeah,
Dutch.
double dutch. I ain't seen double dutching for years.
Cotton candy machine?
Cotton candy machine.
Ice machine?
Yes. And this will be at Sweeney Park
Okay. Also on the 12th.
on the 12th.
Yeah,
It will
so
be
there's-
at Sweeney Park.
Family friendly events going on this weekend. Go check it out. I've really noticed that there's a lot going on in the community right now. A lot of people trying to put some things together, whether that be with the music industry right now, the sports. So there's really a lot going on that you can check out in our community.
Yeah.
So join us tomorrow at 8:30, and keep in mind that you need to be watching us on Thursday to see if you are the winner of the next $50 gas card. And we will see you tomorrow at 8:30.
Amen.